Good day, traders. This is Mdlalose. I'm just going to show you a very interesting development that I just saw in Forex trading this morning. This happens almost all the time, but you actually need to be watching out for this type of trades. In fact, it's not really a trade. It's sort of like an indication of what the markets could do. This is very important to understand that this is not a trade setup, but it will give you an idea when to jump into a trade or when not to jump into a trade. So right, let me take you through this, but before I go ahead, please make sure you subscribe so that you can be the first one to view my daily Forex videos. Okay, so I did post this particular screenshot on two platforms this morning. The first platform that I posted this it was on Facebook. Yes, on Facebook. As you can clearly see, at 27 minutes ago, I said possible bear trap, waiting for buyers with volume to confirm. And I also posted this on a public platform, Forex Factory. Okay, also I did say a possible bear trap waiting for the buyers to confirm. So on Forex Factory, I post almost videos every single day, in fact screenshots every single day in my analysis. But let's get back to the chart and show you the reasons why I said whatever I said. What I want to say is, before you guys actually think this is a trade setup, I want you to understand this is not a long setup. I was saying it's a possible bear trap mainly because at the time that I was looking at this, the price was shooting down here, right? But when I checked the volume was not falling for this. Okay, as much as there was a little bit of high volume, but it wasn't really convincing enough to say, okay, the market is going to go short. So when I posted this, it was shooting down, but it wasn't really supported by volume. So there was a lack of volume when this market was going down, of which the most important thing to understand is a volume up, right, and the price going up, it's a good buy. And when price is going down and the volume is going up as well, that's a good sell as well. Those are the volume basics that you guys need to master. But if I drill down to a smaller time frame, just to show you what's happening here, it might take some time because there's a lot of calculations going on this chart, quite a lot of calculations. So let me wait a little bit. Yes, the chart is loaded. You can clearly see right now where I called a possible a fake sell, the market actually has reversed right away and the market is up 13 pips from that zone. As I said, this is not an indication for a buy, but it's telling us that with a high probability from now on, we might have a GBP starting to buy. The only thing that I'm waiting for now is to see actually start making higher highs, which is very important. Taking out those highs supported by volume, then I'm actually in a trade. But if it fails and it comes back down, this is very interesting. If it fails to break those highs and comes back down and the volume goes up, I'll be gladly selling in these markets. If the volume starts going back up, I'll be looking for a short position. But right now, as I'm speaking to you, I am not interested in any shorts on GBP dollar, mainly because this particular push down in the morning was not really supported by volume. There wasn't really big buyers behind that move. Okay, so another option would be to go and look at your normal volume chart that comes with your MetaTrader, which is very important. Insert this quickly. Right, I wasn't impressed, guys. I wasn't impressed, even though now it looks like something might be cooking now to the upside. You see, can you see this big volume, right? Can you see this big bar right here? Let me put on my cursor right there. The candle was very small, but the volumes were very high. And what happened after that? The market started shooting back up. This on its own tells me with high probability, there is now a high possibility that the markets will go up. Okay, I'm just going to make this fatter so that we can see it clearly. So you can clearly see that big jump there. As much as the candle was small, there was a big jump. The market is going back up. So this confirms to me that this was a buyer's volume, because if this was a seller's volume, the markets would be shooting down now based on this big jump here. And right now we've got a decent volume going up as compared to what we saw in the morning on that big downtrend already. Those volumes have actually are higher than what we saw when this market was going down. You can clearly see this, and this, and then this and this. It's actually going up, showing us that currently, as I'm speaking to you right now on a 5-minute chart, we are having an increased buyers in the market. So I'm not actually going to wait, because to me this is just a setup. It's not a trade. I haven't taken any trade, and it's just a setup that I'm willing to wait a few more minutes and see exactly what will happen. So scan my charts quickly and then go back to the bigger time frame, which is my 15-minute chart. I like the 5 and the 15, but more than the 5, I like the 15, because the 15 gives me less fake outs than the 5. 5 sometimes I can get fake outs here and there, but on the 15, for me, it's rare for me to get a fake outs. You can clearly see now, right here, we had this volume. I mean, this volume was very low. So let me show you exactly what I mean by saying this. I think this was a fake volume. Right. Let me go back in the previous history on my chart using the very same settings and show you, right, what happens when it's a real trade. Right. Put my cursor right here. Bam. Okay. Look, focus on 0.7 here, right? And you can clearly see here, at this particular stage here, the volumes were very lovely and very good, and it touched my zone, which is 0.7, and touched my zone right here, and also with snow telling me, okay, it's a high probability setup backed up by the volume. Very, very important. Okay, and then here's another buy that no, not really, no. This didn't qualify. As much as the volume pushed up here, I need the setup to actually set up at the same time. So here's an example of a real sell order or a sell trade that you could have taken based on this. This is a real one, right? Go back to the previous future again. Look at the very same scenario based on the volume. Okay. There we go. You can clearly see right here as well. Volume touch 0.7, 0.7. That's a nice short trade. And then money into the bank. But now if I come here, this did not fall for 0.7 level. This did not come to 0.7 level because the volume wasn't really good enough. So right now, GBP, there's nothing really exciting. There's nothing that is setting up right. In fact, a buy might be setting up. A buy might be setting up. It's not yet ready, but there's a high probability that it's setting up because the volume now, we have buyer's volume actually coming into the market. You can clearly see this green and actually this green right here. These two buyers volumes showing us that there's a high probability now that the markets are starting to go back up. But is it ready? My answer is no. Even if you go back to your normal trend line technical analysis, we are still sitting on that trend line. The market is attempting to break that particular trend line. So technically we are still in a downtrend, yes, because it hasn't broken that trend line, but it's really approaching that trend line. You see it's picking up momentum there. So I'd really love the market to break the trend line, maybe possible come back and do a small retracement here, and then volume actually shoots up again, doing sort of like a W bottom. I'm not saying you need to strictly trade based on double tops and double bottoms, but if it does that, I'd love to see the markets pulling back a little bit and then shooting back up, and my volume coming to my sweet spot, and then again to my sweet spot here, and then I'll be very, very happy to start looking for a long opportunity. But yeah, It is what it is. I know other people might have taken this particular trade on the platforms that are posted. As you can see, possible trade and then possible bear trap as well. It means bear trap. It means bears are getting trapped. Bulls are actually going to. There's a high probability that the bulls are going to take over. Okay, but that does not mean that it's a trade setup. You need to be taking the trade right away, ladies and gents. It simply means that there's a high probability that the markets might go in a certain direction. So